is Skindalewski, and you guys are?
My name is Shane Smakey. I'm a senior.
I am Riley Schaffner. I am also a senior.
All right, and you are the director of South Iredell Wizard of Oz.
Correct, yes.
How has that been?
It's been a lot of fun. We do a spring musical each year. I haven't been here the past few years, so this is my first year back, but we're working on Wizard of Oz. We've got 2 weeks left before opening night, and yeah, we're roaring and ready to go.
That's awesome. And how did you decide which roles are the best fit for each student during the auditions?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So each student prepares an audition. This year I asked them to sing a song from a show, and then they had to do a monologue where they basically just talk to themselves for about 30 seconds to about a minute. And they can cater their audition to a role that they're interested in. So they typically do, just because they have a desired role. And so they will speak for me and they will sing for me, and I will record it so I can go back and listen to it a bunch of times. And I just kind of start narrowing down each role, and I say, oh, you know, these few kids would be really great as the lion, these few kids would be really great as the scarecrow, and then I just kind of process of elimination.
Do you have a few kids for each role, or is it just like one for each role?
So the way that we've casted it, I do know sometimes they do understudies, but fingers crossed, toes crossed. We just have every role casted once. So I think I might have just jinxed it though, so we'll see. But I have one child for each role, so I narrowed all the way down to one.
Who did you bring with us?
So I brought the lion. I know he doesn't look like a lion, but I brought the lion with us and the Wicked Witch of the West.
How do you guys feel about your roles?
I was really excited. This was the role I was hoping for. I've definitely been kind of typecasted as like evil or like funny characters. Like my freshman year, I was Flotsam in The Little Mermaid, a little creepy eel, and then I think I was Matron in Hairspray. So I've definitely got like a type going for me. Sound of Music, I think I was like the one nun Sister Bert. Yeah. That was when I was.
The one that basically like calls Maria, the main character, a clown and stuff like that. Funny.
Yeah, they have beef.
Okay. Sorry. I mean, this is the role that I wanted in this musical, Cowardly Lion. You know, I feel like he kind of embarks a little bit of a journey that I am familiar with throughout, you know, like being a little scared at first and then becoming courageous near the end of the show. I feel like that's kind of been a little bit of my high school journey. So coming out to theater, finding my voice, finding my acting skills, which are so good. And, you know, just, I love my character. He's a goofball. And I get to have a New York accent, which is awesome. So, yeah.
I think that's cool also to play this role your senior year, because that's like full circle. It's like your whole high school experience. It's like coming together, and it's like, I used to be scared of this and now I've overcome this and I can show it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That must be nice. And what has been your vision for the set design and costumes, and how are you working to bring your crew to life?
Absolutely. Thankfully, there are a ton of resources and just references to kind of get an idea for this show. Tons of versions posted on YouTube and posted, and then of course you have the movie version of The Wizard of Oz that you can always reference and kind of get an idea. And so I kind of let the main characters go off and running a little bit on their own costumes. I know Shane was able to kind of figure out his own lion costume. Scarecrow, he did the same thing. And then we kind of tag teamed a little bit on Riley's costume, because a lot of the Wicked Witch costumes are maybe a little bit more cheap looking, and so we tried to find one that would really, you know, make Riley feel comfortable in kind of her role. And then also for like the set design, we have an awesome team of some parents that actually kind of came forward and were like, hey, we will help you. And so we have a couple parents that are like building our house, and then we've got some platforms that we have just some painted images on the back of. Another parent who is extremely talented that is painting trees for us and things like that. And so we just kind of took the guidance of shows done before us and are just making some different backdrops. We were actually just talking about, we'll need like a farm cart. And so these little things that you just like, I need a farm cart that's from the 1940s, you know, something that you can't find. So it can be a little tricky at times, but your community really pulls together and helps kind of put the show together with us. Yeah.
And what I do like to see that you're doing is I feel like you're giving your students creative freedom with the play. And I like to see that, honestly. Yeah. I think that shows good teaching. I think that shows that you really want your students to be happy. You want them to be happy with the final product of the film.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
Not the film, the play.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And how do you balance guiding these students while allowing them to have these creative freedoms with their roles?
That's a really good point. So I know I definitely have a vision and I have an expectation, and I think sometimes I have to remind myself that the kids are the ones that are actually on the stage.
Yes.
So I'm not going to be on the stage. I'm going to be running around making sure all the things, pieces and parts go together. Mr. Sipes, our band director, has so graciously offered to run the pit orchestra. So those kids are very vulnerable and putting themselves out there and presenting this product to our customers, to our audience, and so I have to remind myself too that that they are the faces of it, really.
Right.
And so I think that they've all done a great job, and they've done their own research. They'll go and they'll watch some video footage and then be like, okay, well, I saw this one version. I think maybe at this point we should do this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, no, I really like that, and it also takes some off of my plate. So if they already do their own research and can kind of block through a song or work through a song and kind of work together, it's nice to see them kind of do that. The younger students are a little more hesitant, but I know that the upperclassmen are like, oh, I've done this before, or, you know, I can do this, or a little more confident to try and take that dive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That you guys, I assume, are you guys helping out the underclassmen a lot as
Oh, yes.
seniors?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I have my band of winkies and monkeys
Yes.
that I like to talk to them. I like to chat with them. It helps having. I remember being a freshman, and it was helpful to have those upperclassmen, especially like when, in my freshman year, I had my Ursula Jabria. She was like my theater mama. She was awesome, and it was just a lot of those people will help you bring you out of your shell, and I think that's something important to have, like older people guiding younger people, and it cheers them up. It makes them more involved. It gets them to be more energetic, especially when they're a little worried about looking weird on stage. You know, they're a little timid. They don't want to seem strange. They don't want to see out there. They don't want to be eccentric. But when you have someone there, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, you couldn't say it better myself. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's great, honestly. I think that's amazing. And were there any unexpected challenges that any of the three of you had and overcame?
What do you think?
Yes. So this year, we had a few people that were very hesitant to join the musical and to join chorus because they had not met Miss Sanlewski before. We were previously directed under Mr. Leslie Overcash.
Yes.
And they were, you know, kind of emotionally tied to him. So, you know, getting used to the new environment, getting used to the new teaching style, which, by the way, has worked wonders. Yes, just, you know, getting used to, you know, a new thing, new teacher, it can kind of be scary. But I feel like a lot of our cast and crew have overcome that. We're all becoming very good friends with Miss Semlewski. She's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, just that. And also the musical being turned into a class. It is a good idea on paper, and in the next few years it'll sort itself out. But you know, it's a little bit rough of a transition process because it used to be exclusively after school and then sometimes on weekends. So just getting used to that is a little tricky, especially with students who are in IB programs, so they might not be able to take the class, so they have to come in after school on their own kind of terms. But we're pulling it together. You know, we're still, you know, getting our gears shifting, and we're trying to roll out an amazing production, and yeah, we're all very excited.
That's definitely an issue I had, was it being an actual class. I am one of those IB students, and one of the main problems I had throughout this whole production, and I'm working it out now, but I was working around 35 hours a week, and so when I wasn't working, I was volunteering at the hospital for service hours, and then when I wasn't doing that, I was at musical rehearsal. So it was really hard to get in there and memorize my lines and get that blocking down. It was just a lot, and I've cut back now, and it's a lot better, but I'm definitely a little bit behind because of that, and I know a lot of other kids are struggling with the time management of it all, which is normal. That's what comes with doing a school production, but it is a lot.
No, I feel like those are both really good points, that what they're referring to. So I guess it was more just like extracurricular would probably be the best way to describe our musicals in years past. And then this year we tried implementing it as a class during the school day. And South already has a struggle with that anyways, because you've got your traditional school and your IB schools all in one. And so there's always a struggle with getting kids aligned with classes, students who also go to CAT, students who also go, so you just got, you know, a mixture. And so it does put a lot on the kids, and I have to say they have worked really, really hard to try and make sure that they're prepared. You know, I gave them an off-book date, and I have to say that there's so many that they put the book down and they were ready, and they said, you know what, I memorized, and then they're able to really kind of commit to their character, because then now that book is out of their hands. So, and I know a change in a teacher is always a hard one too, and so I think Shane said it really well, and I appreciate the kind words and saying that. They were so patient with me and getting to know me and my teaching style and kind of all getting comfortable together. Yeah.
Was this your first year doing one of our plays at South?
So it's kind of a weird story, but I was at South from 2014 to 2021, and then I left and I came back. So we did 6 productions while I was here, and then the 7th one was our COVID year, so we didn't actually do a show. So this is actually my 7th production at South Iredell. Just had a gap in the middle.
Well, I'm sure you're excited, you know,
Oh, yes.
not doing it for a couple years, coming back.
Yes, I definitely miss musical theater. At my other position that I was at, I taught show choir and chorus, and so show choir is like a little taste of musical theater, but it definitely was very much missed. That and orchestra, so I'm happy to be back.
Speaking of orchestras, you mentioned the pit orchestra earlier. Most high schools don't do that, so why did you guys decide to do this? And Mr. Sipes decided to donate his time to do this, you know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yes, so I don't know. When I was in high school many moons ago, we always had a live pit, and so when I came into Iredell Statesville schools, I just kind of assumed that's what we would do. And so my first year we did, oh my goodness, I'm gonna say the wrong one, Oliver, way back in 2015, spring of 2015, and I just basically told my orchestra that they were gonna be the pit, and I just gave them the music and we started learning it. And so as the years went on, the band kids heard about this and they started to get jealous, and they're like, well, why can't we be in the pit? We wanna be in the pit. And so then as the years went on, and then we did a couple shows, Bye Bye Birdie in 2020, so 2020, right before the world shut down, we decided, I roped in that band director, a different band director, and I was like, can you conduct it? And your kids can be in it? And it just kind of was one of those things where now I think South expects that we're gonna have a live pit. Yeah. And so then this year, oh my goodness, those band kids were like, so what are we doing a pit? Are we gonna be in the pit? What's the show? And they all want to, I love it. And so then I kind of bribed and begged Mr. Sipes to partake, and he was like, sure, yeah, sounds like fun. So hopefully I don't scare him away, and hopefully he'll continue to want to do it, but yeah, it's such a fun experience.
I think definitely, like even just talking to you right now, your vibes, and you're very passionate about this. I can definitely tell. Yeah. Were you a theater kid yourself?
I was. Yep.
Definitely. I can see it. I can see it.
Yes.
She's like, these are my people right here. How do you Riley mentioned earlier how she has felt very busy, very hard time balancing. How do you guys balance how do you more so balance guiding the students while allowing them to have, you know, like extra time and all that?
That's a really tough one. Just with, I mean, every kid is so different. So I try to handle it all case by case. Riley has been a great communicator from the beginning. She was like, look, I work a lot of hours and I volunteer. So she's like, as long as you let me know ahead of time, like I can make sure I can take that time off or whatever I need to do to be in there. She doesn't have a second block like every other day or something. And so she was like, well, I can come into class at that point. And so I think it's just really kind of a case by case scenario because every kid is so different. Shane has enough time in his schedule that he can take my class and also still take band, and he's got a free block at the end of the day. So some kids have more free time than others, whereas some of my underclassmen are still learning how to be high schoolers. And so then they need a little bit more guidance on time management and kind of how to incorporate it. So it's really just kind of, I think, handling each kid case by case and just trying to help cater to their needs.
I like that. You don't see that a lot nowadays, I feel like, with big productions like that. And I feel like that's a really good thing, and that's something that people should do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how I personally think it. So when are the shows? Like, tell us.
Yes,
when are the shows coming up?
So April 10th, 11th, and 12th at 7 o'clock at night. You can buy your pre-sale tickets. Pre-sale tickets are only $7 a piece. They are at sihs.booktix.com. And that's for pre-sale. And then if you wait until the door, they're just $10 a piece, and you can buy those cash only. So come see us. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. I hope everyone can make it to South Iredell's performance of Wizard of Oz. Don't go anywhere yet, though. We have a woman dedicated to helping students prepare for their careers and lives after high school. I meet with Mrs. Lauren Crawford after the break.